I noticed it the moment she walked in, her eyes darting, the way she clenched her hands just under the table, pretending to scroll through her phone. She thought I wouldn't see it, thought I couldn't read the tremor hiding behind her forced calm. "Hey, can we talk?" she said, voice clipped, careful. I didn't answer. I just watched. Every second counted. Later, I found the Craigslis message. Not sent to me, never me. To some stranger claiming to be our mother. My sister had a plan. A ridiculous, desperate little plot to convince me I was adopted. So I'd move out, so she'd never have to hear the truth. Truth. That word twisted inside me like a knife. I let her think she had power. Let her spin her little web. Because I already knew. I had always known. I remembered the subtle hints, the way she flinched when adoption was mentioned, the documents she tried to hide, the nervous energy she carried when she spoke about our parents' past. It wasn't ignorance. It was fear. Fear of being exposed. I watched her every move meticulously. Her phone, her emails, her fake mother calls. Everything left a trail. She wasn't sloppy, just human. And humans always leave something behind. A slip, a pause, a breath that doesn't match the words. She called me again later that night. She was trembling, her tone soft, coaxing. "I think Mom wants to meet you, alone." I smiled without smiling. I already had her, already had the cards. I didn't need to rush. The tension, the uncertainty, the little panic she tried to hide. It was mine now. I let it simmer. I started quietly collecting pieces, small ones at first. Photos, receipts, text logs, subtle inconsistencies. Each one a thread. I didn't confront her. I didn't accuse. I didn't even think about mercy. I wanted to see her unravel herself, piece by piece, under the weight of her own lies. And I did. Every time she called, every time she looked at me, I saw it. The hesitation, the calculation, the fear. She thought she was manipulating me. She thought I was blind. But I wasn't. I sat back in the dark, letting her believe she was winning, while I quietly traced the edges of her deceit. Each step closer to the truth made my pulse calm, measured, deliberate. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to fight. Everything would fall into place perfectly. Her panic, her confession, her inevitable collapse. She was unraveling. I just had to wait. The next day, she came into the living room with that same careful smile, pretending she didn't know I had already seen the Craigslis thread. Her nerves were like a storm behind glass, shaking, contained, desperate. I thought maybe you should meet her," she said, voice too steady. "She says she's your birth mother, too. Just, just for a chat." I didn't flinch. I didn't answer. I let her squirm in the silence, the weight of her own lie pressing down. Later, the meeting was arranged. A small cafe. She arrived early, eyes darting around, checking for me, for anyone. And then she froze when I walked in, cold, detached. I didn't sit yet. I watched her, every subtle twitch, every hesitation. She was unraveling, and I hadn't even begun. The woman approached, nervous, shaky. A stranger playing a role too big for her. I kept my gaze neutral, polite, calculated. I let the absurdity hang in the air, the fake mother, the desperate sister, the carefully constructed lie. I listened to their conversation, pretending to be a silent observer. And then I spoke. Short, sharp, precise. "So which one of us is supposed to believe this?" Her eyes widened. My sister's jaw tightened. The woman stammered. I held up the envelope I'd brought. DNA results. My calm demeanor was the only thing heavier than the silence. The test was definitive, the truth, cold and unyielding. I laid it on the table between us. "You hired her to convince me I'm adopted. Why?" Her breath caught. She opened her mouth, closed it again. Trembling hands, I let her struggle. Let the full weight of her betrayal press down. I just didn't want them to tell me," she whispered finally. Fear, humiliation, rage, all mixed into a trembling little storm. I nodded slowly. "I knew all along. You were scared. You still are. No tears, no yelling, just exposure, the slow, brutal truth. Her plan, her manipulation, her lies, stripped bare. I left them there. The envelope on the table, the silence stretching, suffocating. She couldn't fix it. Couldn't take it back. Couldn't undo the moment where her desperation was rendered useless. Powerless under my control. Outside, the cold air hit me, sharp and clean. My pulse steady. The storm inside her now, not mine. I realized, walking away, that I had never needed revenge. I had never needed confrontation. The truth itself was enough. It always is. I didn't look back. I wouldn't. The lies had collapsed. The betrayer was exposed. And I was free. She would remember the cold in my voice long after I was gone. And I would never need to speak again. Silence, control, finality.